All right, so last week we were talking about the skafia and sabcha. So these are the two things of how we learn to transform ourselves, how we learn to reprogram, which is skafia is first, I'm not doing it, if I see something, if I have a temptation to call somebody out, or if I feel in the moment to just be like, what did you do, you idiot? So, and I'm holding myself back, and I don't do that. I process that to the point where that's a skafia, and then there's a sapcha where I take it to the point where I go as deep as I have to see where that's coming from. Where did that urge for me to scream and or to insult somebody? Where did that come from? Where did that originate from? By doing that, I can get to the source, to the beginning. And from before, it has a choice, because we have the bechira, right? We have the choice. We are living without bechira. We are here, right? And a person can take his life, chas v'shalom, but we can't. We're not allowed to. But let's just say, but the bechira is, I can choose. Once there's fuel in the car, and I can choose. I can use it to drive here, and I can use it to drive there. So where am I going to use it? Where am I going to drive this vehicle? So the first is this kafia. I had an urge It went from my heart straight into my middas, and I had an urge to act on it. And I said no, I stopped it, because I realized, now that I know that there's two types of people within me, there's two types of machines within me. There's an animalistic soul, and then there's a nefesh elikis. There's a nefesh bahamas and nefesh elikis. My nefesh bahamas just wants, and kicks. It has no, just tunnel vision. It's like, this is what I want, like an animal that sees its prey, it runs to it, it doesn't stop, there's nothing in his way. Then the nefesh elikis, he wants elikus, he wants what's real, he wants the light, he wants to go back, he wants to see. He knows only knows as Eibishter. I'm not going fully explaining what nefesh elikis is, because
that's in the neshama, probably.
Correct. So within the neshama, there's many different levels, right? So when I go back to the source from where that originated from, that urge to scream, and now I can switch it where I can take that desire and change it to a desire of light. I can change it to a desire to give tzedakah. Tzedakah means could mean as minimum as least as giving somebody $1 or $1,000. That's as small as it can get, and as big as it can get, telling somebody a good word, and telling somebody, and reaching out to somebody, and listening to somebody. That's doing this. This chesed goes. You know how they say that tuition you can pay for meiser money, right? So too, time that we spend giving a compliment to our children, to our loved ones, that is the biggest tzedakah we can do. Because just like tzedakah, we look for that person in Israel, that special. We dig it up, and this is a special tzvek, a guy, a yid that goes to the koisel every day. In the Moshe Weisz, he davens. And we look at him, I'm going to give specifically in a certain amount of time, when the next door neighbor, or my son, or my wife, or my father is struggling. My brother is struggling. My real brother is struggling, but I can't. We don't feel comfortable. Exactly, that's the problem. We are so far away that we are uncomfortable to go to our own sibling, to our own brother, to my son, my child, to reach out to him and to be able to see that.
How do I check what the reason why I yelled or why I did X, Y, Z?
1 second, let me just finish that thing. So therefore, to have a tzedakah, first of all, with myself, now after a journey to home type of situation, we have to love ourselves. So when able to tolerate myself, I can see my child, I can see my brother, I can see my wife. Why? Because I am allowing myself to get vulnerable within me, to feel sorry that I do need love, and I am vulnerable, and I'm also lost and scared. So once I'm able to see that, I'm able to find my children, I'm able to find the real tzedakah. So tzedakah can be as simple as giving somebody a $1,500 check, or an $1,800 check, chai.
It's a lot of money.
Right, chai. But it's, right, or 18, whatever the number is that makes you feel good. Right? But imagine, the bigger tzedakah is, when you go around and you give somebody, the Rebbe didn't go around giving tzedakah to people. He just gave Torah to people. He gave them compliments. He looked at them. Right? This is what he did. This is the biggest chesed he can do for somebody. So that is the eskafi and eschapcha. So from there, I can take that desire that I use.
The Rebbe didn't give physical tzedakah money. He also gave
He gave dollars.
1 second. So from there,
dollars also, no?
from 1 second. So from that place, I go to the beginning of from where that originated, where that I wanted to scream out, and I take that power that I had to scream at somebody. I take that courage and that power and that energy to overcome my own demons, my own shortcomings, that I can allow myself to go to my child and to my close ones and to communicate with them, to get vulnerable like that. Understand, this is how Klippe Choshech works. It takes that energy and that type of power to go to that guy that just, you idiot, you more, whatever names you call and whatever names, we all have our own little outbursts that we do at our own level. So we take that level of outburst and you turn it into inward, and I use that to be able to burst out and be able to give light. Now your question was,
How do I
know where it's
How do
coming
you know?
from.
how do I know where it's coming from?
If you scream,
Again, now you're asking
No,
a very broad question. How do I know where it's coming from?
Let's say the example you mentioned. You went to someone, you told him you're an idiot, yeah?
Hmm.
So you need to check yourself. Why did you yell at him?
Right. So fine.
So the reason why I yelled at him because he double parked in front of my car.
True. We can do the sirmara. We can get into it. Why is my friend, this other guy is taking it so easily and so calmly, and the guy just cut him off and he's just sitting there calm, and I have to react to it. I can give you many reasons. A, that guy's an idiot. B, I have way more things to do. My time is valuable, and he's just being a moron. But we're not getting into that.
Right.
Because that's surmera. We can get into that whole facilitation, and we can do that. Why my tati called me an idiot, and therefore this guy, and I'm going to stand up for myself here, but not where I really have to, because here I'm empowered, because I'm sitting in my car and he can't touch me, or because I saw that he's weaker than me, so I can take advantage. Whatever, all these cheshbonos. That's not what we're doing right now. What we are doing right now is there was a moment of an outburst. There was a moment of fire. There was a moment of atzmas. There was a moment of my creator that gave me an outburst of energy, and I have a choice. I can do with this levatala, or I can put it upward and I can send it into fire. I can bring an oil. I can make a carbon from this. Right? This is Adam Kiyakov Mikem. This is the type of carbonos we're talking about. We're going to get into that in the next one. Adam Kiyakov Mikem carbon is like when a person is makrav carbon. That's what it says in the Torah. Mikem. So there's a whole spiel. Why Mikem, not Adam Mikem Kiyakov? Why he's telling me if a person is going to be makrav carbon from within us, rather than if somebody take a carbon and be makrav your carbon? Why the lashon on us? So we get into Chassidus is expanding in that big. So we are the carbonos. When I have a moment of an outburst and I say no, or when I have a moment of yes, no, yes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna think about, I'm gonna find Ashgacha Pratis in this, and I'm gonna spin it, I'm gonna bring carbon. That's a carbon. Why? Because your animal wanted to react. Now, no,
you didn't. So you
didn't. That's a carbon. That's a powerful carbon.
Just like you went to be macro.
That is bigger than that, right? Because we are in Gullus now. We're going to see soon. We are in a different program. It's called Hester Ponim. Okay. So this is how I take it. I don't care where it's coming from. We can do that, but that's not what this is about, right? Because it's endless. My father, my mother, I can give you 10 perushin why I lost it. I lost, what do you mean? Rightfully so. I have to make it. My wife is waiting. This idiot is called. My mother-in-law is waiting for my soup. What do you care? And this guy sits there, he talks to his friend. Of course, it's a chutzpah. But there is a chutzpah, and then there's me. How am I going to react to that chutzpah? Now, if you step in, the issue with the issue, now if you step into this type of avodah, this type of work, which is self-reflection, we're always in facilitation. Constantly.
Yeah, by the whole day.
Constantly. I'm by a stop sign. I'm by a red light. And there's always a moment that, and then all of a sudden you start seeing all these little things are just here to wake me up, because everything is Eivishter, everything is Elikus. He's everything, he's everywhere. The light is not changing because he decided to light. We can look at it in that level, that the Blasio has programmed the lights that after it turns green, we have to wait 10 more seconds. And he changed Nostrand Avenue to one lane. You can look at it, it's absolute just torture. There's no reason for it. It's absolutely torture. That's called the Paroi program. Because when you are in torture, when you are in pain, that's called the Nikas HaChatzonim. Okay? That's called the Klippes Haryonik from that. That's a perfect example of in your face, Nikas HaChatzonim. There's no reason for it. Nobody needs to drive 25 miles per hour. We're not robots. We are real people. We have things to do. You're keeping me in line like this. I'm a 40-year-old grown man and you're telling me how to drive. When I'm responsible, I have my insurance, I have my car, I have my responsibilities. How dare you tell me some of this? But Forget about it. That's Surmira. We can get into that. The you call all that politics. It's endless. And we just knew what just happened after 4 years of us going through this process. We came up with nothing. Right? We don't know anything more. Everything is the same it was. They still want, they still have an LMI. LMI, what's happening over here? I'm supposed to go inward. What does this have to do with me? Where's my facilitation in this? And all this fear and all this trauma and drama, you can't fly, you could fly, and then vaccine, you can't be next to each other, but you can sit in a plane next to each other. So all these things, whatever that brings up to you, that is paroi program. This is just pain, just to cause pain. Because when I'm in confusion, there is a program that we spoke about Noiga. Klippus Noiga is confusion. When we ate from the Eitz Hadas, we turned on a switch that's called Noiga. That Noiga, he operates on Sfekas. Maybe, I'm not sure. This wall, that wall, should I go here? Not yet. Shouldn't I? All that there is in Kedusha. There's no doubt. There's one thing. I'm sure I am present in the moment. There's only doubt when I live with chashbonas, which is klippa, which is not real, because I'm not really in charge. I'm not really in control. There's something bigger than me that wants to drive through me, and I am stopping it. Not because we want to, because we're trying to figure out how to do it. Okay, it's very hard to be in a physical world and telling you to let things roll out of control. Like, well, how do I do that? How do I just run blindfolded and hope that I'm not hitting a wall?
You can't.
Okay, but life is asking you to do that. It's asking you to just surrender. Just let it be. But with the cheshbon. In other words, don't be a behemoth. Don't walk into the wall. But within the parameters of how far you can walk, know that he's running the show. Everything is to find, I have a moment of anxiety. What is the anxiety? Because I'm afraid I'm not going to close the deal. Okay, did you do it? Fine, do ABC. Now,
leave it up
to Hashem. Okay, let it drop. Let it fall. Okay? The whole part
you can't control the outcome, but you can control your actions.
Exactly. So we are always in facilitation. Always every second of the day, I'm in facilitation. When I feel down, why am I down? Because I think that I can do better. Why am I up? Because I think that, okay, simcha, fine, that's beautiful. Why am I down? Get real with that too. I'm down because I'm worried, I'm afraid. Get real with that also. So it's all about being in the moment. So that's iskafia and ishapcha. This is what brings light into the world. Iskafia. Look at the words inside so you see it.
Yeah,
it's important to see. Here, okay, look at 4.
Yeah.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines from the top.
I never heard this.
These are no words. Yes, it's kafia and ishapcha. Iskafia means.
What does it?
Iskafia means holding back. Iskafia. Kafia means like I'm restrained and my hands are tied. And ishapcha means I'm flipping over. Yeah, exactly.
It's in the Chassidus of Chabad.
Never heard this kafia. Yeah, I never heard this one. Yeah.
And it's a big part of this mind. Bringing the carbon is when you process it the right way, not when you just stay quiet and
No, it doesn't have to be. No, probably not.
If you choose to be quiet, okay, and just let it slide, it should be in a proper process.
Not like eating yourself up.
No. Let me tell you how this process works. Okay, this process works like this. I'm not letting. There's 2 ways of letting go. I can let go because I'm surrendering and whatever Hashem is doing. I can let go from a place of weakness. I can't overcome, and then I get broken about it. Right? I'm tzebrachim because these guys are stronger. I lost the deal and all that. But I can go to the deal and I can be in front of the man and realize this guy, I can't fight with him. I'm just weaker, and this is just, and then look at it, put a higher consciousness on it, and say, this is not how I express myself. I don't do this. I'm not weak. This is not how I operate. When I need something, I sing a song. This is how I operate. Right? There's different expressions. People express on different. There's 2 different ways of doing it. We'll use Michal as an example. Michal's not going to get into a screaming match with you over something that if he stole his parking spot, he'll be upset, right? But he's just going to be like, you know what? That's not Zeigazund. I'm not letting myself into that space. That's not who I am. Oh, you want to compete with me in a piece of art? I'll show you some muscle. This is how I do it. I do it with love and passion, right? And color. So not to blow steam up there, but I'm just saying I'm being real. So in other words, there is a way to. This is the way we look at it from a higher consciousness, in a unity consciousness, from Yechida consciousness, which is a Mashiach consciousness, a blik, is that this is not who I am. That's not how I do it. I don't get into physical matches with people over an argument over who said where.
So it's not come from weakness.
It's not weakness, because usually what Klippa would do after you bring such a beautiful carbon, you say, you know what, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not getting. This is not. this is not. I'm not gonna argue with you, right? You're doing a beautiful thing. You're bringing a car, and then he grabs it from you because you get
It
broken.
brings you atzvus.
Atzvus. You get broken about it. I'm just weak. I'm a nobody, and then you come home and you talk from that place to your children. So now Shchina leaves that. Like everything gets broken. But rather process, get real. This guy is stronger than me. I'm not getting out of the car to fight with him. And you know what? I don't work like this. Doesn't do it for me. I'll catch you when you want to do a bowl of chong with me. I'll show you what goes down. In other words, let's be real in the moment, and that's bringing 100% consciousness. And then you walk away a winner loser. But this is who I am. This is just who I am. I can't lift 500 pounds, no matter how much you pay me. That's not what I do. I can run faster, but I can't lift that weight because I'm just not built like that. Not because I'm weak. Right? We're clear on this.
Like a reaction to something like this that's like jarring like that, like whatever that makes you want to like. If you're more, it's like from the JTH thing. If you're more present, then you probably won't. Your stories won't play into it. Like what you said, like I'm weak, so this, I have to show my muscle, I have to something. But if you're more present at the moment,
You don't make car.
right? It's like you're more able to process.
Yeah, it's
the
true.
right way.
The right way, and not from the stories, not from the
No,
dad.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not. I want to hear the deal that you're making. I'm not really. Go ahead. If I'm what?
Let's say at the moment when the Shas Maisa, you have something that's thrown from left field, like something like you said.
Correct. When you're
It's
present.
just when you're about to pull into it, and you see that they're dafka, they
Mhm.
knew you were there first,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
When you're present,
A lot of
then,
times-
then you're not getting spin on. You're not on the loop. You're present with it right
when you're
away.
present, you breathe, and just like you're like saying, oh, like either a shkal pratus or this happened,
Correct.
or I'm being the message right now from above, like how I'm going to react.
Mm.
It's like the
I'm being
lady.
challenged.
Like the lady came back. The guy, the Tzaddik, whose wife bit the pitim off.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
from
so
that.
the word
He
is.
didn't get angry,
Mm-hmm.
and that was more dear than the whatever.
So, but to look at it the other way is to be proactive about it. It's not going to happen when you're present. What does that mean? If you're present with yourself, it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to take your parking spot. What does that mean? That when it does happen, you have to look at it as follows. A, look at it. I didn't get excited about it. I'm present. Like just in case, this is a little gift that you just got from the higher consciousness that like, hey, you were doubting yourself for a second. Here we go. Look, the guy just took his spot, and you're like, you were so in center. You're in such flow. It didn't even look, and you're taking it for granted. So you're supposed to check in with that. Look, I'm missing a point. I've been in tune all day, and I didn't follow. I didn't pay attention to it. Right? I've been going to the bathroom for 40 years of my life, and I never paid attention to what I feel like when I'm actually relieving myself, and to be present in the moment. Rather, I'm busy holding my phone. Rather, being present with another living organism of his. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is to.
Well, I missed that. So when that happens, that reminds you that you're not being present.
No, when something
Should
like this
be,
happens
no.
and you didn't get excited about it, that's like a token that from higher consciousness telling you, look, you didn't get worked up. Somebody just
Because
took your
you are
spot.
present. and
Because
you
you are present.
Oh.
and yeah.
Exactly. So that's one. The
It's
other,
it's
it's a pat on, it's a pat on your shoulder.
It's almost like a smile from Hashem. It's like,
Correct.
like,
Exactly. The
even though it was a crappy thing that happened to you, so to speak.
And then this
Because
alone.
you don't see it as crappy. You
Correct.
see it as
Yeah.
And this alone, I feel like I saw it by myself. It would make me happy. Somebody just took my spot. Usually, I would be like, I feel so like, this is my spot. I'm standing here. I would come out or knock the guy in the whatever. And then and if I wouldn't get worked up, but really, if I would be present, I would become happy from this alone.
That's pretty much
Correct.
what you just said.
Oh, that's what you meant to say.
Yeah.
Because you passed the test.
Because
Yes. Now
You should
from a
be
very
happy.
calm place, you should roll your window down and say that was just rude, and you just
and
drive
go
off.
on.
Yeah.
But not take it to heart.
Not
no,
take it
you
to heart. No.
understand?
The second thing is like if I am in a twist about it, if I'm bent out of shape about it, that's here to facilitate me back into shape, right? That doesn't mean again.
Get back now.
That does not mean that we're letting people push you over. That's the balance. You're supposed to speak up for yourself, but from that place, you talk to somebody, he's giving you your spot back, right?
Wow. Yeah. If it's coming from
If
that
it's coming
place.
from
Yeah.
that place,
You're just
like,
being rude.
you're just being-
Rather than opening the window, what the fuck are you
In other
Right.
words,
doing?
Right.
you gained, he lost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay, go on.
Okay, Ukamame, Kad eskafi sitrache istalik yikar de kitchebrige bikil alman. And there is a saying, there's a saying that, not a saying, it's an expression in Zohar. Kad eskafi sitrache istalik kitchebrige bikil alman. When a person is kefia, he's holding himself back from the sitrache, from the other side, from this outburst. Istalik yikar kitchebrige bikil alman. The Shechina is mistalik in all the worlds. And then we covered this last time. That istalkas doesn't mean that it goes away. It means that it goes bigger. It gets bigger. It's istalik. There is a bigger release. Okay? There's a big. He's going to explain it very clearly what that means, because he used the same lashon that as the seven generations, Adam and then Cain as the 7 generations they sin against our Creator. He was istalik higher up.
Oh.
But really it means also istalik means that it's a more refined. It becomes more refined type of
Didn't
oil.
you call it cutting off the flow?
Yes, but now he's talking about istalik. Istalkas mean that it's a titzachut. Let's put it this way: if I disrespect something, okay, if I disrespect something, and now I am going down in level.
Disrespect what?
If I disrespect somebody, if I do something wrong, if I wrong something.
Yeah.
All right, wrong example. Let's just leave it as this. As people were sinning, they were doing averes, they were disconnecting from it. The light, the oil was being mistalik. That's it.
Simple.
Cutting off the flow. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say more to be prepared for it. It becomes more refined, and I'm less able to read it. I'm less able to connect with it.
Puna.
Yeah, because I'm becoming more of
It's
a
becoming more hidden.
to me. Not
to
it.
me. Yeah,
yes.
No, not really.
But really, it's becoming brighter, because if I can't see him, because he's not here on Tritz, he didn't create the world to play with you.
You're saying it's got some.
So as I am getting more fagrept, if I do more averes, he has to get more refined, and it gets brighter for me in order for me to see it, because otherwise I will never catch up. If every time I do something,
brighter for me.
he keeps moving away, and I keep going, then we'll never end, because we're
I'll
just
keep going
over.
down. He'll keep going up.
Exactly.
So it
how
has to get brighter.
So
for
it
me
gets
to
brighter,
see.
brighter for me in order for me to see more light. And where do we see this? We see this by the egel, by the Chet Egel.
And these, yeah.
Something very interesting happened, right? So we have after the egel, Eibishter said, "I'm going to take them out. I'm finished with them. Enough."
Yeah.
Moshe Weisz davened, and Eibishter said, "Okay, I forgive you. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to keep it in my pocket. I will release a little bit of that on every generation, but I'll forgive him."
Wow.
So he goes to the Eibishter. Let me ask you a favor. From going forward, I don't want you to reveal yourself to the other nations the way you reveal yourself to the Nevi'im of the Yiddish Nevi'im. Eibishter says, "Sure, no problem. Done, granted." Then he goes further. He's like, "Show me yourself." Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Show me yourself. Show me your ways." There's different shot on what it means. The question is, they just finished sinning something that was unforgivable. And mitamal,
I was looking for a gift.
and mitamal, he's asking, and then he's asking, "Show me. What do you show me? I just gave you by the skin of your teeth. I gave you life for the whole nation. Now you ask me not to show myself to the other prophets, and you want me to show you like such beauty." So what's the answer? The answer is that as we are getting more choshech, he gets more light. That's called the stalkers, because he wants us to catch up. So there was you see this clearly. He's
giving more light.
He's giving more light, right? So he's creating more. He's giving more. So as we're going more dark, he gets more bright. And also remember something else. This is a trick a little bit, because as we are going darker, we are able. He has to bring more. We're able to talk. Remember, in this world, everything is choshech and oir. Everything is light and it's balanced and oir and choshech, right? Otherwise, we would cease to exist because we're physical beings. So we need material to hold us here, and at the same time, that's how we process light, right?
Through material things.
The more materialistic, the more oir there is. Haraya, right? Let's put it this way: if Eibishter is everywhere, if he's everything, there's nothing that's not him. Where is he more physical? In my thoughts or here on this tea?
If everything is in physical, in your tea.
Exactly.
Because everything is more physical.
If he's in everything,
Yeah.
if it is everything, he's in everywhere, in the light, in the lamp, and forget about the holy stuff.
You see more. You see more of him.
So if I am a more grabbing and I need to drink or I need to eat a piece of meat, where do I see him more?
meat,
Here
the
or exactly? It's more physical. So more
it's more
choshech,
light.
of course. The more choshech, The more physical. The guy the tzaddik that sits in his daladamas, he only
doesn't
sees,
need the material things, doesn't need
He
to
just
see
sees-
him because he sees him in his
That's also
in his being.
he sees him in the
The
oasis.
Torah,
That's
yeah.
all as far as he can go. That's what it means. Makan Shabbat Tshuva Omet Em Tzadikim Gimur Chadam Lamed. The place where Baal Tshuva stands, Tzadikim Gimnirim can't reach
No.
because they can't see Eibishter in a steak. He doesn't eat steak, right? But as the lower we are, if I put a 2x4 and I put a brick, I see Eibishter in a brick. When the Rebbe couldn't see Eibishter in a brick, like he didn't have that opportunity. He didn't need to. So we need to keep that in mind, right? Of course, remember, the more frontline soldier you are, the better weapons you have. Right? The more elite you are,
The better weapons you get.
the better weapons you get. So the more physical you get, because you are in the front lines. You need Eibishter in a
So
stake
who's
too.
the front line?
You are,
The more fagrep we are,
of course.
that's the front line
Of
soldier.
course, of course.
Because
Who
we
else?
get more, we get to see more.
You get to see. You're bleeding every day. You're not. You're like. Listen. You're like. Hello. Where is Eibishter in my day today? I'm struggling like I'm working like a kid.
He's so high up, the Rebbe. He sees his. He's Vakishtan is. He doesn't have the
He
material.
doesn't need to. He doesn't need.
Doesn't need to. Well, he sees him here.
Listen. We have to get to his level, but with this, with our physical way, right? So because we are more physical, we need to get to him. Let's not confuse the. He's the real deal, but we get to see more color of Creator.
In the thing.
It sounds like but hiskafia and hiskafcha. So sometimes it's hiskafia. Like you don't just eat it because you lust for it, or you just don't eat 3 steaks. You just want. You know what I'm saying? Like that's hiskafia.
Right.
Still do
Hold
with
back.
physical.
You
It's
can
not
eat
just-
3
not just
steaks,
not
but you
getting
hold
angry,
back.
but also with physical
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You need it, or you're just eating it just for your.
Be in touch with yourself and know where to hold back. And with,
In what way?
Because it's getting more lighter. We made choshech the ultimate.
No, don't worry about that. We are choshech vessels. So as you are in choshech, just bring light in there. As your day gets like, I'm not powerful enough, I'm not strong enough. You want to be real with celebrating choshech? Find order in that. Let's not get twisted like, oh, I'm going to go do Avera because now I can see choshech more. You want to be real with choshech?
Yeah.
Monday, 12 o'clock comes, and you are completely being pulled in every direction, okay? And you want to check out, and you feel completely helpless and hopeless. There, bring in oil. That's choshech. That's loving choshech, being like, everything is him. I did mine, I'm just taking a deep breath, and I'm going to smile because I'm feeling him like I didn't feel an hour ago. Because an hour ago, I was just spaced out. I was driving my car, taking a call, completely spaced out, oblivious that I am a living, breathing creature that's not mindful of its creator. So you want to dance with choshech, that's dancing with choshech. Alright? Alright. V'hinei. Masha Kosif, V'kula Alman. Okay, so it says, Kamamer Kadaskav V'siter Acher Stala Gekur the Kutchabrich B'kila Alman. Right? As I'm holding back my Siter Acher, the other side, then the Kutchabrich is spreading in all the worlds. V'hinei Masha Kosif B'kila Alman. What does it mean in all the worlds? Like as I'm holding myself back from doing something, a temptation, I do an Eskafi and a Sapcha program. What's going on over there? What's happening? HaKavana al madrega sa'oir dehu b'kula alma b'shava. The kavana is that the madrega of oir, that they are in all the worlds equally. V'hainu, oir ha'soiv kal alma shemayr b'cholo elamas b'shava. It's the oir ha'soiv in all the worlds, that shines in all the worlds b'shava. Let's do a few lines and we'll elaborate. The ba'oir masarayesh chaluke madregas. There are different madregas in the worlds, in different oir and different consciousness that's going on over there. The eine dum oir masayon, the oir mistachtanim. It's a completely different ballgame. The oir masayonim are different than the oir mistachtanim. The upper worlds are different than the lower worlds. The ba'oir masarayesh chaluke madregas. Yeah, the ba'oir masayonim meir ha'oir begilui. And the oir masayonim, the oir is meir begilui. And we're going to explain what Gilui means. And the Oilem Tachtonim, the oil is not Meir Begilui Kol Kach so much. And there is that the oil comes in a oifen from Helem Vehester. So we have to understand, Helem Vehester is like, it says in Parshas Bechikoisei, I'm going to hide myself, I'm going to hide my face. I'm going to hide myself. So we all look at it as a, all the rabbis say that there's the brachas in the teuchicha, and the teuchicha is when we gave the misid, right? So there's brachas of it. There's tremendous brachas because hastaras panim is not something that we look anymore as something that is lacking of, but rather it's a program. There's a program called Hester Ponim. There's a program that was called Beis Hamikdash. There was a program called Mitzrayim. Then the Mishkan. Then there's something Matan Torah. Then there's something called Hester Ponim. Hester Ponim is it's an underground mission, and it's dark. All right, we don't know who the boss is. We're out on a mission, and we have no clue what's going on. Like, he's sent into war, the spy is sent in, and they're like, listen, you're on your own. You have no diplomacy, you get caught, you're done. This is what we're dealing with in Hester Ponim. We're coming out, I don't know, what am I working, who am I doing, what am I doing? All right, so we're here waking up to that, to know who are we, who's our master, what's going on over here, because we've been in foreign lands for too long, okay? So there's something else, just to make it a little like Dhamma. There's Oyer Soif and Oyer Ma'at. There's many different ways of describing. Oyer in Chassidus has created a language that's called Oyer Soif. That's the Oyer, there's Soif Kalalman, which is the Oyer that's out there. Anything above my pay grade, anything that I don't see physical. And then there's Mamala Kalalman. Mamala Kalalman is what materializes in physical. In other words, you should think about it as if a glove. Imagine there is a glove that looks like New York City or the whole world, the whole globe, and every single person has a finger. And this Oyer Soiviv just comes inside over there, and he fills the glove with his oil, and we are living through this glove. Okay? We are living through this glove. I'm communicating with you, I'm seeing you as a glove. This is not the real you. This is just a different, lowest version, most physical, materialistic.
The bottle, like you said.
Exactly, the most physical, materialistic of as I can see in any type of consciousness. This is how you show up over here right now. Now, in Gullus, what happened is that we were looking forward, right? I'm like trying to get you. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to win this battle. But all of a sudden, I'm realizing as long as the whip is on my back, I'm running. I don't have time to look back. I just keep running forward. If I stop, I get beaten. But now that the whip comes off, I'm able to say, 1 second, the battle is not really here. This is just a distraction. The real war is out here. It's Oyer Soiv. It's the higher consciousness. This is what I'm dealing with. When I'm davening, I'm not davening to beat you. I'm not davening to get something reward. I'm davening because this is who I am. This is the type of Oyer I am. I'm connecting with my Oyer Soiv. I'm connecting with my higher consciousness. So that changes everything. Because right now, when something comes to me, and this car takes my parking spot, I'm not in battle with him. I'm backing out of it. I'm like, okay, what's the oil in that thing? Where in myself am I not connecting?
Am I lacking?
Because I know this is just a magician. He's just playing again. When the Yidden went into Golus Bavel, Chanetza told his generals, he's like, once you break that wall, he told them 3 things. Do not let these people stop and pray. Just keep the whip on their back.
You can hear Hershey?
Because when they pray, their God listens. And then he said, don't touch the women. Just the light bothers me. Don't touch the women. And then the third thing, no touching the women. And then he said not to have Yirmiyah Nuvi, to make sure he's taken care of. He said their God doesn't mess around. He'll tolerate anything but znus that he won't play with, right? He won't tolerate. So he said nobody touches the married women. And Yirmiyah Novi should be taken care of. Don't let him go between the people. And like 3 times he kept going back with the people. They pulled him out, and then he asked him, do you want my king to kill me? Because he asked me clearly to take care of you. The point I want to make here is that remember, so the minute we went into Gullus, they put the whip on the back, so we can't look backwards. Now imagine a generation.
Can't stop to pray.
They wanted us to stop praying.
Oh.
The minute we went into Gullus, to stop praying. Right? They put the whip on the back.
They were scared if we start praying.
Then he's going to listen. So that's what Gullus is, a mind game, and we've been in this game for 2,000 years. We've been in this program that we can. And now again, the beating comes in different fashions. It doesn't necessarily mean a physical holocaust. We did that. It can also be physical success. I need to make money, and I have to.
That's our holocaust.
That's our whip on the back, right? That's our annihilation, that we can't breathe and I can't stop to think. So I'm davening for the wrong things. I'm learning for the wrong thing. I'm doing tzedakah for the wrong things. That's why my whole tzedakah program is twisted. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, and therefore I do whatever I do, right?
It's tzedakah to get back.
To get back, and it's not coming, and I have a whole cheshbon, and I did, and then when that fails, now I surrender, I give up, I don't believe in the whole God thing, because my whole Eibishter's existence was based on my success. Because I was told, if I give, I'll get back 10 times as much, and if I spend on Shabbos, so how come I can't spend on Shabbos and all this cheshbon? So there is no cheshbon, so there is no, all these things, but if you get in, snap out of Mamala, you go into Soiviv, and in Soiviv, this is the higher consciousness, and in the higher consciousness, the fact that I can breathe, I'm okay.
Yeah, but where do you? My question was always for me, if you take a minute, is where does my shtadl stop? In anything, this can go in anything. Like where does my shtadl stop? I was in Rimnitz. This guy comes to me. He heard my name, Mechi. I gave him $2. Yeah, the guy. I'm 37. I'm a bucher. I had $10 in my pocket, but then I felt like. I wanted to daven, I wanted to say my Tehillim and get out of there, right? I was by Rimnitz, he came into the oil in front of everyone. Mechi, don't do this to me, give me more. So you're getting on I gave you $2, I want to focus on my Tehillim saying. I had $10, but then I didn't want to give it to him just because I knew that if I give it to him, it's coming from the wrong place. I'm saying even in work, where does my shtadl stop? Where can I say I did enough, right? Mm-hmm. I did enough. And then now let Hashem do it, How do you know that?
So sure. So the words is as follows. How did you feel when you gave the guy $2?
Honestly, not so good.
Okay.
Because I also felt like it
Hold on. So
I wanted to get him off my back.
Exactly. So you gave him 2. Now, how would you feel after by the $10? How did that feel compared to the $2? When he asked you for more, how did that feel?
I didn't give it to him.
Exactly, because how did that feel if you would have given it to him?
That would feel much worse.
Much worse, okay.
100%.
So, he works the same way. Our Creator works the same way. This whole thing of ask him again and push and push and push and push, falsch. That's klippa. That's
for him, you mean?
For everybody. For me to ask him that way is also, that's not...
Clipper, give me.
The same thing.
That's very deep.
Not the same thing. Now, the same way you feel... The same way you feel when the person comes to you, he comes to me, I want to give you a quarter, now this is what I feel right now. Anything more than you're going on my nerves, the same way you need to apply with yourself to what feels comfortable for you. Okay? Now again, when you ask a kid, when you're talking to a 15-year-old, it's hard to give him that thing because he hasn't found himself yet. So you have to let him run. Let him hit his head a few times in the wall.
Then he's going to find himself.
But we're all mature adults. We have families, wife and kids. You're not a lazy guy. You're getting up every morning.
Sure.
So this is how you do. You check. My system is good. Yeah, check. Am I getting up every morning? Check. Am I happy to go to work? Yes, no, but I don't have to provide. I'm happy. Yeah. Yes. So I'm all around, whatever checks I need to go through. I'm a healthy person. This guy comes to me now. There comes to me Hakman and Kaparan, right? I come in shul in the morning. I'm holding my towels back. I have my scarf, my coat, and my glasses are fogged up. And the guy like tzedukah. Like, really? What do you mean tzedukah? Tzedukah to me. Why? How come I just came in. You see that I'm a mess, right? I can't look. I can't see. I have my tefillin. My coat is on the side. This guy it's stuffy in here. Wearing a mask, and you're asking me for tzedukah? I don't want to give you tzedukah right now. I don't feel like giving tzedukah right now. And I don't have to. Don't have to.
No. Okay.
My Eibishter
so
doesn't want to give it.
Guilty.
No,
I felt guilty after.
Good. So what was that here? That tzedukah came right. You gave him $2, and you know what tzedukah did?
2 or 3.
It came right back to you, and it gave you back a tzedukah. He's like, Mechi, get strong with yourself. Do you feel like you want to give?
That's how I felt.
Good, because one second, that same thing, that same challenge comes up in work too. When somebody will be able to take advantage of you. Right? There's the same weakness because of our tati and our mommy and all that. So this tzedukah came right back at you and he taught you something. It's like, here you go, $2. And I was like, how do you feel? And it's still working because you repeated the story now and we're getting clear on it, right? And everybody's getting clear on it. That like the next time I'm hit, and I'm like, listen, I have no problem giving. It's just not right now. Like I have the same thing. You go every Shabbos, dude, I'm carrying stuff. I'm here.
I can't do it. I don't feel it.
Why you asking? I'm not, what is the shakedown? And they work on your mind because they know we're programmed to do this, that we have this thing, right? So, okay, so I'm not a schwanz. So use that to get strong with yourself, to get solid with myself.
37, mama, alte bucher, please, Mechi, don't do it in the oil, in the dust.
Exactly. So that sounds like panic. That sounds like Noiga is asking for something to pull it out from you, and then you are eating yourself up about it, and that guy just fed his mishigas rather than like, excuse me, sir, no. I gave you $2. I'm going to be very upset if you keep doing this, or like throw up for them. You know, in a very nice
I
way.
told him nicely.
In a very nice way.
last
The
day.
guy, listen, I gave you from the kindness of my heart, but right now you're pushing it.
Yes.
Right now you're getting into my space. You tell him words that he's not confused, also not used to. So the machine gets a little confused. Like he's no longer in his whole spiel. Like what? I'm not resonating. What? What is he saying? Okay, good. So you throw him a little curveball too. He didn't do the chesed with him. That's a chesed for him too. It's just like the child that doesn't go to bed or keeps eating candy, and I'm doing the chesed and I'm telling it it's enough. You're not having anymore. You're going to bed right now. Just the
I
greatest.
started telling myself, right, the Rimnitzer sent him, if you give him now the $10, make you give it to him, because if not, the good thing that was supposed to happen to you will not happen.
That's absolutely clip. Okay, this
That's
is
the answer.
That's absolutely clip, and
Good.
I'm sorry
I'm
that
clear.
we've all been victims of that with people with tzedakah, especially you come to certain places, they bombard you and you feel you're in the need, and
I have
you
it by davening every
sometimes you're in the moment and you're really in the moment, and you're like you're looking for something, you're like, this is my sign. No, it's a sign. We didn't know, but now we're waking up. It's a sign to have stronger belief and understanding in Emunah. Emunah does not mean that I'm giving tzedakah and I'm waiting for an outcome. My Emunah is that it's going to be okay if I do and if I don't.
Oh,
Or if I do or if I don't. That's my Emunah. I just
Yeah.
don't, I'm a human being. My Eibishter is, I'm working it. Like I don't feel like it right now.
my
I
age is
can't.
the same like yours.
Yes,
You're asking for
that's my Emunah. My Emunah does not depend on anything I do. Now, if your Emunah still depends on something you do, then you're at that level. So good, give tzedakah, right? So do it.
But give it from the right place.
No, or give it hurt and then get into the process and then get clear with that you're just being a schwanz, right? You have to go through that too a few times before you get it.
Sometimes it.
Okay. So we have to
Very
be
clear.
we have to be very. That's it. There's no pain. Why would I? How can I do tzedakah with pain? Listen, you're asking me if I'm in my car, the guy wants a ride, and this and that. It becomes a battle. Like I get that. Okay, fine. Overcome. Yes, overcome. Fine. But I'm saying on the day to day, be clear with who I am, what it
What
is
I
that
want.
what I want, and then don't. And then the Eibishter has nothing to do with it. Right? Because we see now there is no more rabbis to go to. There is nobody. It's only
Wow.
us. We have to find. This is what it's about. The lights is out, right? Klal Yisrael is the moon.
It's choshech now.
We are the moon. We are no.
Oh.
We don't do chashach. We don't do it. Klal Yisrael is the moon. We're Malchus. Last time we got Klum. For years we've been beaten by the sun. Seeds are planted, right? The Shiftika went into Mitzrayim. So all seeds are planted. Tzaddikim, everything. Now it's time for us to step up. We're starting to open ourselves up. Haraya. How do we know this? Because there's no Rebbe out there. There's nothing. It's
So
only
we have
us. So we have to find ourselves. All we see right now is more cheshach, more. This is lacking. We have a choice. I can get into panic, or I have a choice and be
See
like,
the light.
I got nothing to be afraid of, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So why not see the light in it? Because if everything is Him and He's everything and everything is only good and He only wants good, so it must be the cheshach is just a spin and just a twist.
It's
So
a good
we're-
thing. It's a good thing at the end. There's light after
Right.
at the end of the tunnel.
There's light in the tunnel.
In the tunnel.
Exactly. All right.
Fine. We yesh bezeh, I think, you know.
Okay. Let me see.
Yesh bezeh chalika madraiges.
The
We
one
started
thing.
the difference between Ar
Yeah.
Begili and Einemai Begili.
Ja, de ene dom wil Odin Sederim Dorim Tachtem, de andere zei maar Kol Begili. Ik ben op Tachtem, maar hoor ene meer Begili Kolkach. We yes bo beginnen helemaal bij Hester. Doe halt man. We yes bezeg gelike madreges. Kom je kos het af Yodi Yesod Arets. De mine tip Shemaim. My hand also was Miyaset Arets, which is earth. We mine my right hand I have a gewegestalt Shemaim, which is the Gan Eden, the Himmel, the Shemaim, which is mein Gan Eden. We is me medish, nuti mine bar Shemaim. He moved he geneigt zijn rechte hand en het beschaffen the heavens. We nuti smole bar Arets, het beschaffen ed. We do the yad min moira ala or by Gila Yosef. The rechte hand is a proof of that there is oil, Gili oil. We say we mean a tipcha Shemaim. My right hand of the Vegestel, the Shemaim, which is the sky, the Himmel. The Shemaim Makavona oilemas helyonim. Shama Gili beginnes yemin she Gili oil. Darten is oilemas helyonim is darten Gili is beginnes van the rechte hand. Well, this is Gili oil, is often. Vahoir atzme hu beginnes Gili, and the oil line is in beginnes Gili. Vaoretz and Oretz meant Makavona oilemas the tachtonim hand beginnes smoil. This is beginning from the linker hand. Sha'ena hor begili kolkach. The oil nicht so begili kolkach. Vagam hor atzme bo beginnes helm vehester. And the oil kimt auch in helm vehester. Right? As we know, because do in the Welt, since we are physical beings, I have physical needs. So what does that mean? No longer do I look at myself as a lack of, and I need to eat, and I need to have desires, no.
Hashem give me life.
He
I
created,
need it.
exactly, he created a Welt, Olam Asiyah, with a car, a vehicle, with needs that I need. And I need to live with these needs and these desires. But it's all him. Right? I'm seeing, so the oil is coming in more physical. I can feel it in Olam Asiyah is in Shukan Tish. Okay, it's all, it's one, it's unity, it's all one, it's beautiful, but it's nicht tachlis kavanah.
What's the, can I ask a question? But I don't know.
Go ahead, sure.
How do you look at the desire for the things we don't talk about openly?
What? Sex?
Yeah.
Okay, what about it?
How should I find?
Did you listen to last
I have
week's
so
shir?
much. What?
Did you listen to last week's shir? We got a course on sex.
I know I missed out. What should I'm gonna. No, I couldn't. I know. I couldn't listen to it. We'll go and couldn't listen to it yet. I don't know. It's. I look at it from the past, the stories that I heard, and then
Okay, so we'll do a quick on it.
Don't have to go into it deeply. Just want to understand.
It's never. Listen, it's
Or I
never.
have
It's
the
never.
share. I still have it. I just couldn't.
So
Busy week.
the desire is called Yesod. Tzadik Yesod Olam. Everything comes down to the Yesod. So there is the build. The whole system is built. You have Chachma bin Adas. This is the Moichen. Okay. Then you have Chesed Gevura Teferes, Netzach Choyd, Yesod Malchus. Okay. Malchus had Gunish. Malchus is nothing. We are Malchus. Malchus is Malchus Datzilis. It's all earth. The earth is Malchus. And what happens to earth? Earth is nothing, but put a seed in that thing and a tree grows up. Okay, so that's Malchus. So there is the gardener is the Yesod. I like that on a seed, and then the Uretz koch the seed and it shoots out because the earth has nothing. He's so bottled that he's bottled to anything. How bottled is he? That anything you put in him, he will grow. He doesn't contradict anything. Just so you know, for the record, that all the animals and everything came out of the earth. All right, we're also made out of earth.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything is from the earth. Everything comes because the whole power, everything is from the earth. Now, the Yesod is what goes in, and that what plants and it comes up. We too are the same way. Okay, so we are a Malchus program. Now, when I have a desire, I have a choice to use this desire. I can use this desire to get caught up, just the way we spoke about before. That I'm in the Mamalo program where I'm davening to beat you. Right, I need to get yours, what's yours, and I need to fight, and I need to have the whip on my back, and I'm going forward. Or I can step out and go into Soviet Kalam, when I go into my higher consciousness. I'm like, what's the purpose? How does that make me? How does this align me with my Creator, with my free flow? Okay, just a desire is here the same way. It's the most. If you want to know what Eibishter, what Creator is. That's what we learned last week. He had a desire that he should have a house, a home here in the Welt. Okay? So in physical Welt, there's a physical goof, there's a physical body, and in the physical body, how do I experience? You can tell me this is Eibishter Echir, it's very good. But what's my purest thing that I feel Eibishter? That's my desire. When I feel something, because the highest level is also Keser. Keser is split in two. We're not going to get into details, but there's Tainuk, okay, pleasure, okay, that's what it is. So when one feels a desire in his Yesod, all right, you're supposed to take that and you drive it into something that you plant it in something powerful and something positive.
How?
Oh, by doing tzedakah. Your desire to go make money. Your thing to make money is also a desire.
Yes.
It's a desire that's established
established
into chesed or gevura. It's everywhere. Whatever you need to accomplish. But if you're talking about the purest desire to have sex, it's a very pure desire. No strings attached. I'm not doing it.
Mitzvah,
What? Let's be real. Okay, we're talking about being real. It's a big mitzvah. I'm saying, but you're not doing it for the mitzvah.
No.
Okay.
For the pleasure.
Exactly, and the pleasure is a mitzvah. Okay, the pleasure that is not. It's not. See, this is the little. Sometimes it's just a little spin. I have a taiva, and I'm doing it because I have a taiva, or I can do it because I want to be one with my Creator in that way. I want to experience Him in such a powerful way. So I'm going to go with my partner, and I'm going to be one, because at that moment I become one. I get to a point where I'm completely surrendered to everything, and I'm one with my partner, and that is a yichud. It's one of the ways of doing a yichud. I can have a yichud by drinking a tea, and feeling that it's good, I'm present with it, and then I make a ber nefashos, that's also a yichud. Right? I'm just making a bracha. The yichud is happening as I'm drinking, and not when I make the bracha. When I make the bracha, I'm just inviting, and then I'm just celebrating that yichud. But the actual yichud is here. So what did we learn from this? That it's not necessarily that I need to do in order to be presently activated with my Creator. Rather, it happens when I do nothing, when I am with Him. Right? Not always when I'm in bed with my wife do I have to have sex. I can just be there and enjoy her presence, to be in our company. I don't always have to sit in the car and talk. I don't have to constantly talk. I can just be in her presence. Friday night, what are we going to do? We're just going to be together. I'm going to read my magazine, you're going to read yours, and we're going to be present in the space. That is Eivishter, that is unit, that's the Yichud. Okay, so all these are clean desires. All these are clean desires. I can take it into make it a more stronger desire. No, I must have, an outcome. And if it's not happy, it is that I'm getting into a whole.
What if somebody has a stronger desire and is and the other person doesn't?
Okay, welcome to the world.
What do you do then?
Well, you have to work on it. You have to find this too.
I should chop my desire out?
No, you have to see if you can. Okay, so first of all, it's not necessarily the topic for right now, but just to give you the answer, there's two things you have to do. Since this is JTH aligned, A, what can you do to raise the other person's desire? And B, where else can I park my desires so that it's not totally focused on this with her desire to be able to activate that? Yeah. There's two ways. What can I do? Pick up that desire. And B, where else can I give myself out in other ways to be creative in releasing my desire, not necessarily through a sexual desire. It doesn't have to finish with sex. It can be a desire. A desire you can build creativity too. You bring it back into your head and you build creativity with it. Where's the more like fighters? They don't have sex the 3 days or days before, weeks before, to keep them fired up, because your creativity, you have more creativity, raw desire of my Creator, rather than just blowing it. Or not, whatever I'm saying. But if my partner is not available and I know that everything is from him and everything is aligned, so what's the message that's here coming to me?
I should get the message that I don't need it.
No, or maybe you need to apply yourself more. Maybe you have to put in more to get that desire going. Maybe you need to work more on the other party, right? So it works both ways. Oh, but I don't want to put in the work. Okay, so there you go. That's why the desire is not meeting you. So you just want to be. I want to get laid. Okay, well, you're not 18 anymore.
I want to put in the work, but
no, I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm talking to all of us. I'm talking to everybody, right?
I get it.
Okay, so we're saying.
We're all in the same boat.
All right.
Good. Fine.
All right.
Yeah.
וזה גמילה טיפך השמיים. זה שמיים הכוונה אוילם הסיינם, שם הגיל בכינס ימין שיגילי אור, והאור עצמו הוא בכינס גילי. והארץ הכוונה אוילם סלטונם בכינס סבו שאין אור בגילי כל כך. וגם האור עצמו בו בכינס הלם ואסתר. כי ידוע ההפרש בדל אוילם את זכסיף כל הנקר בשמי, everything that's called within my name, לכבוידי, רסיף, יצרדיף, אפסיסיף. שהם דל אוילם אביה, which is אצילס בריה גצירה עשייה. בזה האור איני כמו שהוא באצילס, כמו שהוא בבייה. The Atzilus who b'chinas gilui hela. In Atzilus the oir is begilui. We see everything. Atzilus meloshen etzlev is samach. It's close to him and it's one. V'chein perish Atzilus meloshen atzol v'afrasher. That it's Atzil, it's ogitin, and it's mufresh from everything else. He's just over there. In Atzilus the oir is still one. The Atzilus in Mayoisei b'chinas oilam. Atzilus is b'chinas oilam. Aval b'chlal lusay hu b'chlal oilam as ha'ensav. It from one hand in his mahus it's an oilam. It's considered oilam Atzilus, but in klal it's oilam as ensav. It's still connected with source. Masha enkin b'riyah oilam abri shu ascholas amtziz b'chinas yashma'ayim. V'zer kolonik b'shmi l'chvayde d'shmi chvayde hu hamiyuchad bi adayin. It's still one with me. She called oilam Atzilus. She oilam ayichud. By scholars. It's yichud v'skalas. Yichud means like it's in one, and skalas means it's in a klal, right? We are in the world of nifred, we are in pratim, we are in prat. That's why we're going through our struggles, because ultimately we want to go back to klal. We want to go back to unity, but we're fragmented, because it's the netzertes that fell down from Olam HaTorah. This is what we're giving tikkun to. And why is the whole thing is because there was separation. Why was the shvira? What happened with the shvira? What happened when there was shvira sakelim? What happened that it broke? This Netzotis broke because it
What
got.
means Shviras Kailam? I've been hearing this word for
Yeah,
years.
so we'll cover that and then we'll stop with that today. I mean, if you guys want to go longer, that's fine, but I know you want to leave. Shviras HaKelim is as follows. When Creator decided to create world, we're just going to go with the program that we are living in, which is in time, which let's say 6,000 years ago. There is no time, but let's just say in time, in evolution, there was in consciousness. He created the world, so there was Chesed, Chachma bin Adas. He created these moichen machines. Chachma, my process of pure seichel, Bina deciphering that, and then Das, which is processing that, bringing Das to it. Then there was the Zibben Midas, Chesed, Gevurah, Teferes, and Letzachot, Yesod. What happened is that Chesed was so powerful, he was so much in Chesed, like Chesed became a living organism almost on its own. It had such a strong consciousness that it didn't stop. It just kept going, Chesed, 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 pouring, going, and it just poured. And then came Gevurah. Gevurah was so one track line. He didn't see Chesed, he didn't see Chabad, he didn't see anything. All he saw was Gevurah, Tzimtzum. And then all the Kelim, Tferes, everybody went through their process, and they were completely, because they were aligned one on top of the other, and they were all complete their own identity. They did not acknowledge anybody else over there, okay? To the point they went so far that it exploded.
So why did Hashem create the world like that?
Because he
Begin
wanted,
with.
sure, because he wanted us to, because otherwise we wouldn't be here the way we are now. In order for us to be fragmented in the way we are right now, we had to go through this process, okay? This is stuff that you learn, you get into a little meditation, you see where your mind takes you, and as far as you go, this is where you go. Like you keep listening, you hear stuff, and then apply it back to your own database. And this is how you bring tikkun. After that, he created Olam HaTikkun. Olam HaTikkun, he already aligned these oiris in a different way. He had Chachma, Keser, Chachma bin Adas, Chesed, Gevurah, Teferes, Netzach, Yesed, Machas, and Mitamol, they all started working together. Like balance. As Chesed wanted to go completely give, and then Gevurah said no. Now let's play this out in real time. I'm coming into a shul or go to the Ribbon Sekever. Somebody walks up to me, I need tzedakah. Okay, my Chesed says,
Give.
I gotta give you, I have to give you. Okay, then I want to give you everything. Gevurah comes and Gevurah is like, whoa, not so fast, this guy doesn't need, okay, Baruch Dich, I also have, and that. What do? Rather, Gevurah says, they'll give him nothing. It was very busy. I'm coming here to daven. What do you want from me? What do you go? You're playing on my guilt that this is a play. Teferes comes in. Teferes does balance. Teferes is like, okay, give him $1 and that's it. It's fine. Okay.
You don't have to give him everything.
Yeah.
Teferes makes peace between Gevurah
That's
and
it.
Chesed.
Give him $1 and that's it. Or you can go further than that. You can say, you can go in with a smile.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, I feel you, I love you, this I can give you today. Next time I'll catch you, right? That's already Lifnim Shira then, okay? So this is what the Shvira. And this also, it says in the Torah, Lifnai Malcha Melech Yisrael, it goes through the Zibim Malachim that were born and they died. Before sie geboren geworden, the Melech of the Eden. It's in Parshas Bereshis. Or it goes through all the names over there. So this was the Indian from Shvira. Now, Esav was...
Shvira doesn't have anything to do with the Chet HaEtzadas?
No.
Okay.
It was before.
Shvira was before. Okay.
Shvira means broken.
Broken, yes. First there was a shvira, there was a breaking, and then Adam Rishon was the first thing in Olam HaTikkun. Okay, we are Tikkun.
Oh, after the break.
After the breaking. After
Wow.
Like with this, it starts with the base because there was an Aleph before, which was that or something like that. There was.
So-
I don't know.
then comes the Tikkun, to Olam HaTikkun, and then Adam did a nice job on the Tikkun. He ate from the Eitzadas. Adam. No, there you go, Chava. It's all
That's
us.
what Udam said.
It's our consciousness. It's
Adam
all.
also ate from it.
It's all our
I know,
consciousness.
but-
Now, it's a good point that you said, but to be real, you have to understand is that what does it mean being real? Adam Taka Chava did it. Chava did it, right? Somebody forced me, but you still wanted to do it. You
have
did.
to take responsibility. for
Yeah,
that.
that's it. Okay.
Once
So-
it's Ravianum.
So then comes Avram Avini. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, they put away a system for us. They start building a new Olam HaTikkun. So that's why when Esav was completely Olam HaToyu, Yaakov was from Tikkun, And when Yaakov came to Esav, when he told him, sell me the Bechorah, Esav told him, no problem, take it. Because they were talking on different levels. They weren't talking about Bechorah like they got Yarshim and Tat and Yitzchak. They weren't talking about that. They were talking on different. They saw different things that we see. They were giants, right? So Esav is like, of course. He tells Yaakov, listen, you're never going to bring tikkun to Olam HaToyer. You're not going to be masakin. You're not going to make a mensch out of Toyer because I am Toyer. I can't. I'm red, I'm fire, I'm burning, I'm a killer. I can't control my own self. I can't control myself. There's no way you bring a tikkun to me. So he takes the Bechorah, then he takes his brachas, then he goes to Lavan for 20 years, and then he meets him, he sends the malachim, and Yaakov finished his job. As far as Yaakov is concerned, the whole mission was completed. Everything was done. He gave tikkun the 20 years that he was in Lavan's, 21 years that he was in Lavan's house. And then what happens is he sends the malachim, and the malachim are coming back and telling him, listen, brother Yaakov, the guy not only hasn't the brother Esav started doing his work, the guy is even down the time. He's coming with 400 of his malachim. He's coming to kill you. Like the guy is completely off. So now Yaakov is like, really? All right. He rolled up his sleeves. He goes. He meets him, and the work that we do right now was Esav's work. Like we are doing the tikkun for Uncle Esav. This is what we're doing right now. Our job was already done. Yaakov finished our job. We are just carrying the load for brother Esav. And for all the machine batzin, least with this har Esav, there's going to be one, but ultimately we are giving Esav a bitter. So this is what we're dealing with right now, and this was the answer for Shvira's what Shvira is, and tikkun. So we are in tikkun. So every time you're asking where these thoughts are coming from, your temptations, your desires, all that is coming from the Shvira. Because you can't see, because if you saw oil, if you saw the light and all this, you wouldn't do it. How can I? The only reason I'm doing it is because I think if I do more, I'm going to get more, I'm going to make more, and if I outsmart that person, I'm going to be better, I'm going to be more. And really, it has nothing to do with me. Right? I have to do my shtadlus, but nothing to do with me. So this is the nakuda over here. Okay, we'll pause here today.
Nice, man.
Thank you.
Good shir.
Wow, beautiful. I'm still gonna listen to the other shit from last week, Mitch. You spoke.